Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Tarot Talk Live. And my name is Catherine with your conspiracy theory. And this is number 79. And I believe we are focusing on the energy of Savannah Guthrie today. This is a Nancy Guthrie update. And let's get started. So, in the last reading, folks, we got a chance to take a close look at Annie's energy. Annie is the sister, the older sister by 2 years of Nancy Guthrie. I'm sorry, of Savannah Guthrie, and the daughter of Nancy. Okay, so again, Annie being the oldest, I decided to start with her energy. She is 56 years old. And so what I did was I pulled one oracle message or two or three for each of the years. 5 years. Okay, so I did it in 5-year blocks, starting at the age of 5, right? Because come on, 0 to 5, like, I'm not really going to garner much information from that time period, but from 5 on, I figured we can get some good energy that would give us some good information to go off of. Okay, so the purpose of this reading is really just to see what the energy is behind each of the sisters, what they had going on in their lives, what were they experiencing during these time frames, anything that could give us more clues into how we ended up here today, and if that even has any relation whatsoever. Don't know. Just figured, why not? Okay. We did get some good information. Okay. Looking into Annie's energy, starting early on, like the very first card we pulled was kind of a clown face. It was a card of a trickster, right? But also an energy of somebody who kind of felt, I'm going to say the energy of someone who like they didn't really measure up, or like they were always kind of like looked at as like kind of like funny, or not really taken very serious. Okay. And then going from the ages of 10 and 15, we have some kind of energy of regret over things that possibly were done. Okay. And then between the ages of 15 and 20 for Annie, we know that her father passed away at the age of 18. Savannah would have been 16. She would have been 18 at this time. It was a sudden heart attack. So it was something that happened quick. I don't know that there was any longevity with health issues or anything like that. But it did say there was a sudden heart attack. Okay. So I'm going to take it was instant and instantaneous, and no one was aware of any issues. With that energy, it looked as though with the time there was a clock and it said too late on this oracle message, and I'm just getting the energy of she felt as though she were too late, like there was something, if she had just only known, then she could have done something, so she felt like that, or there's energy of it just was too late, there was nothing that anyone could do, and a feeling of overall helplessness. Okay. Also an energy of kind of taking responsibility at that point. I'm going to say, if you feel like it's, you were too late, it's almost like taking the responsibility of there's something you could have done about it. Okay. And then moving on, it appears as though she's almost suffered some sort of an emotional mental crisis, perhaps. I don't know, allegedly. This is just looking at the energy. I'm seeing perhaps maybe some recovery or therapy taking place around the ages of 20 to 25. Shortly after that, there is an energy of feeling some sort of shame. Okay. Almost like regretful, right? Something regretful of something, or even her of herself, right? Or circumstance perhaps that she was in. Next, there was a bit of a hermit phase, where it just seems as though there were a few attachments, not very many love interests. Okay. I'm going to say kind of a lonely phase, right? But it's going to be more of a disassociation. She kind of pulled back into herself. So it wasn't as though she was being pushed away or ignored. It was that she really kind of went into herself, kind of into a hermit mode, but in the reverse. So it's just a situation of going into a shell and coming back out again. Um, then after this, there was right after this energy of having few attachments, then there's this energy of some sort of attachment or not being able to let go of something. And I'm going to say possibly toxic. And this is right around the time frame, between the ages of 35 and 40. And I'm going to say she met Tommaso around that time. All right. 6 years prior to that, I know he moved from Italy to Tucson. So, and then after this, we have her energy appearing to spiral, right? There's some sort of an emotional period of overwhelm. Okay. And this is going to be regarding a loved one. Okay. So perhaps maybe Nancy, at that time between the ages of 45. So I don't know when Nancy's health began to go downhill, to the point where she really, it was kind of becoming more difficult for her to live on her own. I don't know if it was around this time frame, but I'm going to have to say yes. Um, and then you see the hangman in the reverse, right? With the ace of cups in the reverse. And then the king of pentacles, it makes an entrance, which again, this is giving me energy of Tommaso, or husband, or some sort of a matri or patriarch. Um, but with the Ace of Pentacles in the reverse and the Hermit, and we have the Empress coming in, that is the energy of someone possibly married, a husband or a provider, and then also an energy of either a mother figure or a nurturer, or an energy of someone who has some sort of an abundance, or there's something about abundance coming in. But that Hermit card bothers me because, again, I don't know, it's coming in with the hangman, which isn't unusual, but the hangman is in the reverse. Okay. So yeah, somebody is kind of being a little bit introverted, um, more than normal. Why this King of Pentacles is coming into play with this Empress card here, I'm not quite certain, but that's the energy that I got. Again, with the most recent energy is her being very reclusive a little bit with this King of Pentacles. Okay. And the Empress is showing up in that, uh, you know, it's concerning, but, you know, you can tell me what you guys think. So now we're going to be looking at Savannah's energy, and we're going to do the same thing. This probably should go a little bit quicker because I am going to pull all of the cards out. Savannah is 54. That makes her 2 years younger than her big sister Annie. So we will have the same number of cards and we will be looking at the same period. Okay, starting with the age of 5. Every 5 years, pulling a different card. Okay. All right. So looking at Savannah's energy, 5 to 10 years, 10 to 15, 15 to 20, and 20 to 25. Okay. Age 25 to 30, 30 to 35, 35 to 40, and 40 to 45, 45 to 50, and 50 to her current age of 54. All right. And we will clarify with the tarot messages just as we did with Annie's energy. So starting at the age of 5. Okay. We have Queen Bee here. So from 5 to 10, we have her feeling very secure, very confident, and also career focused. Interestingly enough, a little Savannah at a very young age appeared to already know what she wanted to do and who she wanted to be, and was very confident at that. Now, quite the opposite of Annie's energy, and we saw that with that clown card. It was labeled Jack, you know what, but it's just giving me an energy of the quite the opposite, right? Quite the opposite. Now, ages 10 to 15, happily single, okay, doing you, dating stress free, setting goals, and career focus. So, again, Annie's energy is coming off very, very strong energetically as someone who knew exactly what she wanted to do and who she wanted to be when she was a very young girl. Annie, on the opposite end of things, it didn't seem ever truly got her footing. Okay. It doesn't seem, compared to these first two cards. Okay. Very shocking this early on. Okay. But she was very confident and knew what she wanted to do. Didn't wait for anyone else. She didn't need a lot of, what's the word? She was very secure with herself, very independent, is what I'm trying to say. Very independent. So 15 to 20. Now, this is going to be significant because this is also the time period that their father suddenly passed away. So here is Savannah's energy. Well, we have bumping heads and we have two female energies here. Interestingly enough, I feel like this is the energy between the two sisters. I do feel, okay, that the closeness that they may have had early on suffered a bit of a test during this time. And with bumping heads, it could have been an energy of who got mom's attention the most, or who could please mom the most, or, you know, who made mom's day, more than the other. There was just a lot of competition, is what I'm getting. I'm getting competition. Now, whether, Annie was trying to compete with Savannah or Savannah was being, you know, competitive against her sister, I don't know, but there was something going on with that. All right. This is 20 to 25. We have workplace affair, baby. All right. So this is going to be Savannah as a young college, and this is going to be very, very early. This is going to be her college years, right? Probably prior to her going to graduate school, or right around the time she would be going to graduate school and getting into her niche, right? I think she already knew what she wanted, but I feel like this is when she really started to get into her career, okay? And started to gear up and prepare herself for what would be a very successful career. It started here for her, all right? 25 to 30. sweet talk. Okay, so I don't know when she met her husband or when she got married, but what's interesting enough is that we pulled these cards on both sisters. For Annie, her sweet talk card was in the reverse. So this is right before Annie's sweet talk card. So I don't know if Savannah was in a relationship, got married prior to her sister finding that person, or Tommaso, the person that she's with now. Um, but it appears to be a very happy, romantic time period for Savannah. And it could also be an energy of her getting the things that she wants, right? This could be the beginning of, let's see, because she's has, I think it's a 12-year career. 12-year career. Okay, so it would be around here that she started with the Today Show. All right, so sweet talk here. So things are happening for her, I feel, romantically. We have too late. So this is interesting because this is also the same energy that existed here when we were dealing with the loss of their father. This also represents an energy of something sudden happening, running out of time to do something, or not having enough time for something. We'll see how that resonates when we look at the tarot messages. And then going from 35 to 40, we have massive regrets. So something happened, and there's some regrets. There are things that decisions perhaps that she had to make that she may either end up regretting. There was some decision that's made during this time frame that either is going to become a regret, or either she regretted having to make. So we'll look at that. And then we have drinking, toxic lifestyle. Interesting. So someone may have been going through some sort of issues with drinking, or living some sort of toxic way. I don't know if this was a family member, but this was a period in Savannah's life where maybe there was some excessive, some excess. Someone was partaking in a bit of excess. I don't know how that relates to Savannah, but we'll look into this energy. All right. But this is also the time that she started with the Today Show. Okay. We have turning your back. Interesting. Interesting. We have turning your back. There's energy of someone who's like, and I think I talked about this the other day. It's like almost like in their face. She's very much in someone's face, but she is kind of like almost being a bit, I don't know what the word to use here appropriately would be. Um, it's almost like she's making fun making fun of the fact that she is living her best life and that there is someone that she has walked away from or that she is not giving any second thoughts to, right? Turning her back on a situation and moving on with life or living life and not necessarily being worried about whatever you walked away from. So this could also indicate a situation of her not being near her mom or with her mom at a time where it's very difficult, and her sister having to really take the burden of taking care of her mom on her own. You know, of course, she has Tommaso, but I'm just saying, being the only child that lived near their mom and had the ability to help their mom, she was the only one. There's an energy of Savannah just kind of going on and not really having a lot of empathy, perhaps, for Savannah in that situation. All right, so now this is going to be the most interesting energy because this is the most recent, right? In the past 5 years, we have secret. I've always said that there are things that Savannah knows that she's not saying. There's some sort of family dynamic as it pertains to her sister. And it was all in one of the reading before last that I did on Nancy Guthrie. Go and check that reading out because it specifically asks, is there something that Savannah knows about Annie that she's not telling, that she's not saying? 100% there is. Okay, there are secrets. So let's now look at the tarot messages. Let's see what deck I'm going to use this deck here. Okay, Queen B. Secure, confident, boss B, career focused. Queen. Queen calls shots. Even though Annie was younger than her sister, she was much more confident. That is kind of what I'm seeing here. Much more confident. So we have the Six of Swords, and it's in the reverse. Okay. The Six of Swords represents someone who's stuck in the past. They're not moving forward. It's also a sign of someone that's holding on, or there's some sort of an of emotional baggage. Some sort of emotional baggage. What is with the Seven of Wands? The Seven of Wands is an energy of someone who is they stand their ground, like they know what they want. Also, there's the energy of being defensive. I'm seeing Savannah being very feisty. She's very feisty. She was very, very, what's the word? Like she knew what she wanted and she was able to express it. Okay. She was very vocal about what she wanted to do. Very protective of her commitments or anything that she was committed to. She was very, very protective over it and was willing to like stand up for whatever it was she wanted. So she got the attention of those around her very easily as a child. Do you see what I'm saying? Tell me about happily single. This is all about her being very independent, setting goals, getting things done, starting and finishing projects without being told. You know what I'm saying? Just very, very independent and very smart and very just witty. Tell me about happily single. Okay, we got two cards. So we have the Four of Swords and we have the King of Wands. Look at this. This is an energy of someone who knows what they want, right? And also an energy of someone who is very much, they're very reserved and focused on the things that they want to do. Like they work very hard on their future. Planning their future is very important to them. And, you know, they have no problem shutting out the world to focus on their goals. You see what I'm saying? Savannah had it going on very, very early. Reminds me of my daughter. Just very independent, very smart. Okay. Underneath the deck, we have the Two of Cups. Look at that. The Two of Cups, and we also had the Lovers under the deck. This lets me know right here that Savannah had no problem getting people on her side. She had no problem getting assistance or getting people to team up with her. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, or just having support in general. It was very easy for Savannah. It came very easily. And I think this is kind of like what caused some of this tension that you're going to be seeing here with bumping heads. And this is also after the father passed away. So interesting. This came out in the reverse, y'all. Look at this. So we have the Two of Pentacles in the reverse. Okay. So Two of Pentacles in the reverse is an energy of things being a little chaotic, right? It's also an energy of someone who is kind of all over the place, or you know, they just, it's like they can't make, they can't choose, right? There's the energy of um having a lack of balance is what I'm going to say. So I do feel like, and this is around the time their father passed away, I feel like there was lack of balance. Okay, there was chaos. Basically, there was a lot of back and forth. There it is, back and forth, right? But it's sloppy back and forth, right? So I feel like there's a lot of just really messy arguments and fights between the sisters. Okay. Under the deck, look, Five of Pentacles. Okay. This is all about loss. And this is also an energy of lack. This could be an energy of finances being, a little more scarce than prior. Okay. So, yeah, this was a difficult time. And with the world here, this talks about a shift. A cycle is shifting. I feel like there were a lot of changes that came up when the father passed away, and the girls had to kind of juggle this and deal with it emotionally. And I think it was just easier for them to kind of take things out on each other and both of them to vie for their mom's affection. You see what I'm saying? So, yeah. So let's talk about workplace affair. Let's talk about workplace affair for Savannah. I believe she really started to focus on her career. She maybe moved away from home at this time, I feel. Okay. Huh. So this is judgment in the reverse. Okay. So this is all about blaming someone. There's an energy of blaming. And not learning lessons, not seeing, there's an energy of not taking fault, not seeing fault, not learning lessons. Also, there's an energy of self-loathing, right? So I don't know if I feel like Savannah used work to deal with the loss of her dad and the fact that, again, I feel like everyone in the family felt really helpless. Okay. I feel like they felt really helpless, and in some ways they all like blamed themselves in some form or another, and it was very difficult. But with the Nine of Cups here underneath the deck, okay, and we have the Five of Wands here, this is someone who literally, I feel, because this is all also an energy of, you know, problems, arguments. I feel like rather than, because she may have been blamed or she may have been very defensive towards her sister, right? Because there was a lot of arguments here, and you can see that. You can see that it was clear. I don't know how ugly or how bad it got, but I do know that Savannah focused on school. She put all of her energy into what she wanted to do, and she got away from that energy. Okay. She got away from that energy. Now we have sweet talk here. Okay. So we have the devil in the reverse. This is all about freedom. And then we have the Two of Wands in the reverse. Okay, so this is all about being independent, not having any long term prospects. You know what I'm saying? Being on your own, being single. But with Sweet Talk here, somebody was able to get in her ear. I feel like she was very focused on her career, but someone was able to emotionally get her attention. And this is when her husband came along. And we have the Knight of Pentacles under the deck. Interestingly enough, with the Emperor, y'all. Don't play with me. See what I'm saying? So, this is the energy of her husband coming into the picture. All right. This was someone that was reliable. I feel like this was a very reliable energy for her. And this was something that she needed. She wanted someone reliable, something that was steady in her life. And she also felt safe. She felt safe. But tell me about too late. Oh, now this is giving me energy of something happening that she can't control. So we have the Hanged Man, Major Arcana number 12. We have the Five of Swords. There's some sort of conflict or an energy of some, there could also be a fear of being left hanging. And you see this turning your back. So this is kind of intriguing me. And we have the Three of Pentacles. So this is an energy of working with others. All right. So here's the deal. Here's the deal. I feel with that Five of Swords and the Hanged Man, there was some sort of argument or falling out that she had, right, with her sister. Because again, with the Three of Pentacles, you know, Annie probably wanted, Savannah to chip in. She probably wanted her to assist. With too late here, I'm just getting an energy of Savannah didn't have time. You know what I'm saying? She did not have time to care for her mom because she was getting ready to really, focus in on her career. She was probably in graduate school or either taking care of her family, and she just didn't have the time. We have the Wheel of Fortune here under the deck. See, the Tower. Okay. So this is giving me an indication with the King of Cups. This is all about being distant, right? Devoted, but distant at the same time. See, see, money talks. All right. Money talks. And in this case, she was working on it. She was working on it. Now, massive regrets. It doesn't mean that she didn't regret the fact that she couldn't be there with her mom. I feel like Savannah really loves her mom very much. But I also feel like there was some financial things that became priorities for her. Do you see what I mean? Tell me about massive regrets. I feel like she's going to regret this. And maybe there will be some sort of a toxic period because she regrets the fact that she can't, you know what I'm saying, be with her mom. Or maybe even toxic is when, your job can be toxic, your career can be toxic. It doesn't just mean drinking excessively or illegal substances, it could be working. All right. So interesting. We have the Queen of Wands. The Queen of Wands. Underneath the deck, we have the Knight of Swords, right? This is an energy of someone. That Queen of Wands is someone who does what they want to do. They, they don't get told what to do, right? They don't take orders from anyone. They come and go as they please. Well, we have the Knight of Swords here. This is all about some sort of a game changer. Okay. Things going in a different direction or shifting and going the other way very quickly, right? So she's going to go from being very confident, very matter of fact, to being in a completely different energy. And then we have drinking and toxic lifestyle. So was she feeling some type of way? I don't know. Some people have a little guilt that causes them to kind of feel a certain type of way about, and they know they should be contributing or, doing more. Tell me about drinking and toxic lifestyle. Now, I'm just reading energy here, so I'm not diagnosing anybody with anything. We have the Ten of Cups, okay, and the Three of Wands. This is all about movement. The Three of Wands. It's all about confidence, moving forward, growth, gaining momentum. Um, it also represents change, but it's fast changes, things picking up the pace. We have the Ten of Cups. That is all about family, that references family. So perhaps things are changing in her family, and it's, it's causing it's causing a bit of stress. Okay. It's causing a bit of stress. Maybe there was some considerations that were being made. Maybe Savannah was aware that someone was. I feel like Savannah was considering moving closer to family, but I feel like her job came along, or there's an energy of her signing with her contract with the Today Show with NBC, and that changed everything. And then we have turning your back. See, and I feel like she felt like she was turning her back, or your family made her feel that way. Tell me about turning your back. Turning your back. Tell me about it. It looks like she's happy. She's happy to be turning away. We have the Hierophant, but it's in the reverse, and I want to know why. This is someone who, it's almost like the relationship, it's like the relationship has become stale, and perhaps because there was so much, she was gone for so long, maybe things had become this way. Maybe It seemed as though she had turned her back on her family. High Priestess, or I'm sorry, the Magician. No, no, no. This is the High Priestess, Major Arcana number 2. Sorry. This is the High Priestess. So this is all about being quiet, having intuition, I feel like intuitively, Savannah felt I feel like intuitively Savannah felt that she was turning her back, or she believed that she was turning her back, or intuitively she knew that her family felt like she turned her back on them. Yeah, 2 of Swords. Look, see, she made a choice. There's an energy of a choice or a decision was made. Tell me about secrets. Tell me about secrets. And that's going to be what she's, the energy around Savannah right now. What are these secrets that Savannah is keeping? Oh my God. The 3 of Cups, y'all. Family. She's keeping secrets about family. There's things that she knows about family. See, we have the Magician here. We have the Magician, folks. And we have number 13, the Death card, with Temperance and the Empress. Y'all, almost all of these, we have 4 major arcana right here. 4, along with the 3 of Cups, which represents family. And then we have secrets. This is a massive secret that she is keeping in reference to a family member. The Magician is all about someone who is responsible for doing things or making something happen. Okay. And along with the Death card, I mean, with Temperance, we have forgiveness here with the Empress here. It's almost like she's protecting a family member. She's keeping secrets because she knows it's like ultimately she forgives this family member. Ultimately, she forgives this family member. Y'all, you tell me what you think. Why are all these major cards coming up here at the end with Savannah holding secrets here about a 3 of Cups, which is friend or family or some sort of communication with a family member and secrets being kept? What are these secrets and how do they pertain to this Empress here with the Death card? Let me know what you guys think in the comments. This has been an interesting reading. Go back and watch the other reading that I did on Annie's energy through the years. See how these years line up and how the energy lines up. And you just let me know what you guys think. Let me know in the comments, and I will see you guys on the next one. I love you. Bye.